Picture this. You are sitting on your couch, you're incredibly hungry, and you are just staring at your phone screen.
Oh, we've all been there.
Right. You've just built the absolutely perfect lunch order on a delivery app. But then, you get to the checkout screen, and there it is.
The subtotals.
Exactly, the subtotal. Then the delivery fee, then the service fee, then the tip. And you just watch that final number tick higher and higher.
Yep.
And suddenly this wave of modern guilt just washes right over you. You sit there, thumb hovering over the Apple Pay button, asking yourself, am I just being lazy? Should I just get up, put on real shoes, and go get it myself?
It is so universal. I mean, we have all been held hostage by that checkout screen, right? Weighing our hunger against our financial conscience.
Yeah, totally.
Because the cultural messaging we constantly absorb tells us that spending money on convenience is inherently wasteful. It's a sign of poor financial discipline or just straight up laziness.
But, what if you aren't being lazy? What if you are actually making a highly calculated, brilliant investment in your finite time on Earth?
I love that framing.
Right. So today, we're stripping all that guilt away. We're looking at the cold, hard math and the really fascinating psychology behind a piece we've been reading called The Delta of Convenience, Trading Dollars for Time.
It's a fantastic read.
It really is. So our mission for this deep dive is to figure out how to determine exactly when paying for convenience makes perfect logical sense.
And to do that, the premise here requires a massive paradigm shift. It argues that investing in yourself doesn't just mean, buying a gym membership or putting money into an index fund.
Right, the traditional stuff.
Exactly. Sometimes investing in yourself means actively paying money not to do something.
Oh, wow. Paying not to do something.
Yeah, and the text establishes a very strict boundary early on with this. This isn't a blank check to just let your finances run wild.
So no, justifying every single purchase.
Right. No. We aren't endorsing those zombie subscriptions, the streaming services or app trials you haven't touched in 6 months.
Oh, the ones that just bleed your accounts dry in the background?
Precisely. The operative word we have to keep coming back to today is discernment.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because before we can get into the emotional value of convenience, we first have to, strip all that emotion away.
We have to look at the cold, hard math.
Exactly. The raw numbers of what your time is literally worth. And the source brings back a concept from middle school math to do this, finding your delta.
The dreaded algebra flashbacks.
I know. Now, for those of us who haven't sat in an algebra class in a decade, the delta basically represents the difference between two rates of change.
Right. And in the context of valuing your time, your financial delta is a direct comparison.
Okay, how does that work?
Well, it is your earning potential during a specific block of time weighed against the literal amount of money you would need to spend to get that block of time back.
That makes sense.
And the source provides an incredibly concrete example to illustrate the mechanism here. Let's say you are a freelancer or self-employed, and you bill your own hours.
Okay, tracking with you.
And let's say your rate is $60 an hour. Now, let's go back to that lunch order on the couch.
Oh boy, back to the Apple Pay screen.
Right. So the food costs what the food costs. But the delivery fee, the service fee, all that extra friction, it comes out to a $7 premium.
But wait, slow down, because I'm looking at the $7 fee and I'm looking at my hourly rate.
Yeah.
Unless I'm literally clocking in and furiously billing a client during those specific minutes I saved, how is this not just me throwing money away? How does the math actually justify the fee?
It's a great question. When you pay that $7 for delivery, you aren't just losing $7. You're putting a cognitive firewall around 45 minutes of your bandwidth.
A cognitive firewall. I like that.
Let's look at the alternative. If you don't pay the fee, you have to break your focus, put on your shoes, walk 20 minutes to the restaurant.
Wait in line, pay, and walk 20 minutes back.
Exactly. You are shifting your brain out of a high-value flow state and downshifting into what is essentially foraging mode.
Oh, and shifting gears takes immense mental energy to recover from. You don't just sit back down at your desk and instantly resume typing at full speed.
Precisely. It takes time to ramp back up. So if your time is valued at $60 an hour, then a 45-minute interruption is technically costing your business $45 worth of potential output.
Wow. Okay, when you put it that way.
Yeah, by spending $7, you are protecting a $45 asset. That is a massively positive delta.
So you are using a small amount of capital to shield your primary revenue-generating mechanism, your focus.
That's exactly it.
This is like a business outsourcing its payroll software. The company doesn't buy the software because the CEO can't do basic math, right?
Right. or doesn't know how to use a spreadsheet.
Exactly. They buy it so the CEO can stop fiddling with tax codes and actually focus their executive function on driving sales. You are the CEO of your own day.
I love that analogy. You are the CEO of your own day.
But I do have to push back on this just a little bit.
Go for it.
What if I pay the $7, the food is on its way, my flow state is technically protected,
Right.
and I just use that newly freed up 45 minutes to lie on the floor and mindlessly doom scroll on my phone?
Oh, the doom scroll.
Yeah. Does that positive financial delta just completely vanish?
What's fascinating here is how this specific calculation actually acts as a mirror. It forces you to confront exactly what you were doing with your reclaimed hours.
So it's a reality check.
Completely.
Yeah.
Because if you are strictly looking at the financial delta, then yes, using that time to doom scroll means the financial math no longer holds up.
Your earning potential essentially drops to zero.
Exactly. However, the brilliance of this concept is that it serves as a rationalization tool when you are in production mode.
Oh, I see.
It removes the paralyzing guilt of the convenience fee when you are actively trying to produce. It tells your brain, hey, keep working, the $7 is mathematically justified.
Okay, but let's be real here. I'm not billing hours on a Saturday afternoon.
Hopefully not.
Right. Most of our lives, hopefully, aren't spent entirely on the clock. So if I pay a delivery fee on the weekend, the financial math completely falls apart.
It does.
My earning potential on a Sunday morning is $0. So how does the source justify paying for convenience then, without just calling it laziness?
That is where the framework shifts gears. It moves away from financial capital and dives deep into emotional and lifestyle capital.
Emotional capital, okay.
Yeah, you don't have to be actively producing income to justify spending money to save time. Because, not all time is created equal.
Right, an hour on Tuesday morning feels very different than an hour on Friday night.
Exactly. And the source asks us to measure the subjective weight of our free time. Imagine you are grinding through a 60-hour work week.
Ugh, sounds brutal.
It is. And by the time Friday night rolls around, your prefrontal cortex is completely exhausted from decision fatigue.
Because you've made, what, thousands of micro decisions all week? Thousands of them. So you have this tiny, precious sliver of a weekend to actually recover your cognitive load.
And then you realize there is absolutely no food in the fridge.
The worst feeling.
Truly.
And see, a trip to the grocery store on a Saturday isn't just about the literal 2 hours it takes to navigate the aisles, wait in line, and drive back and forth.
No, it's a gauntlet.
It requires hundreds of additional micro decisions. Which brand of salsa? Is this avocado ripe? Do I actually have enough milk?
And for a brain that is already depleted, that environment is incredibly taxing.
It's exhausting.
When you only have maybe, 12 waking hours of actual free time all week, those 2 hours are sacred.
They represent a massive percentage of your weekly autonomy.
So paying the Instacart fees and the delivery charge to get those groceries brought to your door isn't just buying food.
No, not at all.
Reclaiming those 2 hours might be the difference between starting Monday refreshed or starting Monday already feeling behind. It is a phenomenal return on investment, even if it yields zero financial dollars, which demands that we understand what we are really buying when we outsource a task.
What we're really buying.
Yeah, and the author highlights this beautifully with the story of their parents and William the Long Guy.
Oh, William the Long Guy. I love this example.
Right, because on paper, the literal transaction is exchanging currency so that William will make the blades of grass in the yard shorter.
But that's not what they're actually buying at all. They couldn't care less about the grass itself.
Exactly.
They are buying a lack of discomfort. They are buying the relief of not having to push a heavy mower around in the hot sun, breathing in exhaust fumes.
And we see the exact same psychology with the example of a twice-a-month house cleaner.
Okay, yeah.
You could look at that transaction and argue you are paying someone to scrub a tub and wipe down counters. But what is the underlying mechanism there? Why does human psychology crave that specific transaction so much?
Well, I mean, the visual cue of a dirty kitchen or a gross bathroom sink triggers a low-level stress response.
It really does.
Every time you walk past it, your brain registers an incomplete task. It's an open loop. So you aren't paying for a scrubbed tub. You are paying to close that loop so you can actually relax in your own home.
That's spot on.
You are buying the confidence to have company over without that lingering, quiet anxiety. You are purchasing an emotional state.
Yes. By outsourcing the task, you are actively minimizing your cortisol levels. You're preserving your executive function for things that actually matter to you.
Like spending time with your family or engaging in a hobby.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean for the listener? To me, it sounds like paying for convenience is almost like buying an emotional insurance policy against burnout.
That's a great way to put it.
You are paying a premium to ensure your stress levels don't redline. But again, I have to play devil's advocate here.
Please do.
Isn't this an incredibly dangerous, slippery slope?
How so?
Well, if we start defining everything as buying peace of mind, couldn't you justify just never doing a single household chore ever again?
I see where you're going.
You could say, oh, doing the laundry disrupts my peace. I'll send it out. Cooking stresses me out. I need a private chef. Driving is annoying. I need a chauffeur.
Right, right.
Couldn't you use this subjective framing to justify outsourcing your entire life until you are just completely broke?
That is exactly why evaluating subjective value has to be paired with ruthless self-awareness.
Ruthless self-awareness.
Yes. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the profound paradigm shift is moving from buying a literal service to buying an emotional outcome. But the guardrail against going broke is that you must actively evaluate the actual weight of that outcome.
Meaning I have to ask myself, does avoiding this specific chore actually bring me profound psychological relief, or am I just looking for an excuse to avoid a minor 5-minute inconvenience?
Exactly. You might find that mowing the lawn genuinely ruined your entire weekend and spikes your anxiety.
Which would make William the lawn guy a stellar investment.
Right. But maybe doing the dishes, while slightly annoying, only takes 10 minutes and doesn't actually drain your emotional reserves in any meaningful way.
So you just do the dishes.
You do the dishes.
Yeah.
Discernment means allocating your convenience budget only toward the friction points that offer the absolute highest emotional return.
You don't blanket your whole life in outsourced services.
No, you surgically remove the tasks that cause the most distress.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So we've covered the cold math of protecting our earning potential, and we've explored the psychology of protecting our emotional peace and our weekend bandwidth.
We have.
But there is a third currency that we spend every single day, and that is our sanity.
Oh yes, our sanity.
What happens when the cheapest option isn't just time-consuming, but is just incredibly deeply annoying?
This brings us to a concept that is perhaps the most liberating part of the entire source text.
Step 4.
Step 4. It explicitly gives you permission to reject the cheapest option if it requires jumping through too many hoops, or if it drains your mental energy. It accounts for the friction.
The pain in the ass factor.
Exactly. And the source shares a hilarious but very telling cautionary tale about the beauty school haircut.
Oh my gosh, yes. Because on paper, getting your haircut at a beauty school is the ultimate money-saving hack.
It really is.
The students need practice, so they charge a tiny fraction of what a standard salon would charge. If your only metric for success is keeping dollars in your wallet, the beauty school is the undisputed winner.
But then you encounter the reality of the experience.
Yeah, the friction.
The friction is immense.
Mm-hmm.
A simple trim takes 3 hours. You are sitting there in the chair while the student has to stop, call the instructor over, and consult on the angle of every single snip of the scissors.
Oh, the hesitation.
There is constant passive waiting. And the text notes that if you want to get color done, you are going to be trapped in that environment for half a day.
So you save money, sure, but you paid for it by enduring an agonizingly slow, frustrating process. You paid for it with your patience.
Exactly.
The text is basically saying we are allowed to look at a situation and declare the money I am saving is not worth the sheer annoyance of this experience.
Yes, you have full permission.
You have permission to pay the higher price at a regular salon just to have an expert get you in and out in 45 minutes.
Another phenomenal example they analyze is the psychology behind TSA PreCheck.
Oh, I love my TSA PreCheck.
Right. But having TSA PreCheck doesn't actually alter the physical end result of your journey in any way. You still go through airport security, you still walk the same distance to your gate, you still board the exact same aircraft.
And as the author jokingly points out, you still end up standing in boarding group 6 with everyone else.
Exactly.
You don't arrive at your destination a single minute faster.
But look at the mechanism of what you were avoiding. If you deeply hate the feeling of shuffling forward inch by inch in a winding, chaotic line.
Taking off your shoes, unpacking your laptop, feeling the pressure of the people behind you staring at you.
Yes. Or if you chronically run late and that security bottleneck gives you genuine panic attacks the value proposition changes entirely.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me. It is exactly like paying to take the express toll road on your commute home.
Oh, that's a great comparison.
Right. The toll road might not actually get you home any faster if there is a backup a few miles ahead. Your overall travel time might be identical to the free lanes,
Sure.
but the toll road allows you to keep your car moving. Psychologically, humans can tolerate a longer journey if they feel a sense of continuous forward momentum.
Absolutely.
What we cannot tolerate, what causes immense mental distress, is the stop and start lack of control we experience in gridlock. We hate feeling trapped.
We do.
When you pay for the toll road or when you pay for TSA PreCheck, you aren't paying for speed. You are paying for agency. You are paying to protect your mood.
This raises an important question because it completely redefines the utility of our money.
How so?
For decades, traditional personal finance advice has treated the pursuit of the absolute lowest price as a moral imperative. You are taught to clip every coupon and endure any inconvenience to save a dollar.
Right, grin and bear it.
But if money is a tool meant to serve us, meant to improve the actual lived quality of our daily lives, then spending it to avoid a pain in the ass is a highly legitimate return on investment.
Wow.
It is not a character flaw to want a smoother, less aggravating day.
Think about the one chore or errand you've been putting off this week. Think about how much mental energy it is draining just sitting there on your to-do list, creating an open loop in your brain.
Just draining your battery.
Exactly. What is the actual dollar amount it would cost to make it disappear today? When you frame it that way, the delivery fee or the service charge suddenly looks like a bargain.
It comes down to transforming convenience from a guilty, impulsive pleasure into a calculated, intentional strategy.
So the takeaway here is incredibly actionable.
It really is.
The next time you are hovering over that checkout button, staring at those delivery fees, or debating whether to hire out a chore you dread, run it through this mental filter.
4 steps.
Right. Ask yourself the cold math question, am I protecting my earning potential and my focus?
Ask the lifestyle question. Is buying back these 2 hours of my weekend worth more than the fee itself?
Ask the emotional question, what am I actually purchasing? Is it a cleaner house or is it peace of mind?
And finally, account for the friction is the cheapest option. Simply too much of a pain in the ass to endure.
You now have full permission to trade your dollars for time, completely guilt-free, provided you are using discernment.
Taking control of how you spend your most limited resource, your time, is honestly one of the most empowering financial decisions you can make.
It truly is. But diving deep into all these sources, seeing how expertly we can use our money to buy back our time, insulate ourselves from discomfort, and maintain our agency.
Yeah.
It does leave me with one final, slightly provocative thought, something that wasn't explicitly in the text, but feels like the inevitable next question we have to ask ourselves.
What's that?
Well, if we eventually reach a point in our lives where our income allows us to successfully outsource every minor friction, every annoying chore, and every single waiting line.
Okay, assuming we get there.
Right. Do we risk losing the satisfaction of self-sufficiency?
Oh, wow.
I mean, if it's those minor daily struggles that actually help build our patience, our tolerance for boredom, and our character, could paying for ultimate convenience eventually bankrupt our resilience?
That's a fascinating counterpoint.
If we never have to endure a frustrating line or a tedious task, do we become fragile? It is definitely something for you to chew on next time you're standing in line, waiting in boarding group 6,